Hi, my name is Jamie Vasilian, the Hypnosis for ADHD specialist. And just like you or your child perhaps, I too was diagnosed with ADHD back in 2004 at the age of 24. Now I know that your time is precious, so I'm going to keep this brief, but I thought let's just create a short video to share with you my own story of ADHD and how I overcame it. Let's just say that I was in ADHD hell back then. Suicidal depression, anxiety, addiction, out of work and living on disability benefits for a whole decade because I was unable to even wake up on time for work. And also due to my ADHD, I ended up finding myself at some point homeless. Oh, and after my diagnosis, I tried medication, but unfortunately I was in that 20% of people for whom it either doesn't work or has intolerable side effects. So I was stuck in a rut, a dead end. It felt like there was no light at the end of the proverbial tunnel. But then in 2006, I got lucky. A very special person came into my life. Have you ever met someone who you felt totally at ease and familiar with? Well, for me, that was Sarah Bailey. We not only had a lot in common, but we felt like we'd always known each other, and naturally, we became best friends. Not only that, but it also turned out that she was a master of hypnotherapy and NLP. And with her help, I learned to believe in myself again. And when I struggled and felt like giving up or reverting to my old ways, I would remember the words that she quoted from the legendary life coach, Tony Robbins. Change happens when the fear of staying the same outweighs the fear of change. This literally became my mantra that I would repeat every time I experienced any doubt, distraction, or denial on my pathway to getting better. So I took my first tentative steps in 2009 by volunteering at a special needs unit in a local primary school for children with autism and ADHD. Not only did I love the staff and the children, but I also learned a lot about these conditions, including insights into my own diagnosis. Anyway, fast forward to 2011, and with Sarah's help and by applying all that I'd learned on a daily basis, I really began to get control of my life again and committed myself to a regular practice of exercise and meditation. I and others began to notice big changes within myself, finally able to relax and truly focus. What's more, within just 2.5 months of that, my lifelong depression lifted and I began to make incredible strides in managing my ADHD. I was also strong enough at this point to finally go back to paid work, but I didn't want to finish there. Sarah would always remind me to not give up on my dream. So in that same year, I invested time and money to retrain as a solution-focused hypnotherapist, and I began to give to other people what Sarah gave to me. Hope, possibility, and feeling able to dream again. I was able to help people recover from lifelong anxiety, depression, and trauma, sometimes within a matter of weeks. Now, I'd also work occasionally with a client who had ADHD, and it began to dawn on me that I should specialize in this area, and that if I gave it all my attention and energy, that I would not only be able to move from ADHD management to ADHD mastery within my own lifetime, but also be able to help others to do the same. Suddenly, it was like I'd found my ADHD dynamite. Everything fell into place. I was on a mission to crack the code of ADHD, and that's exactly what I went on to do. Well, to be honest, I'm continuing to crack the code of ADHD to this very day because it seems to be a little bit different for everyone. So what I do is I help children and adults with ADHD, just like you, take back control of your life and find your own ADHD solution. And here's the good news. Because of my continued training since then and because of what I've learned about ADHD, it's possible to experience a similar transformation to what I went through in a fraction of the time that it took me back then. In as little as 6 or so sessions with the power of hypnosis, you could be the next person to learn to control your ADHD, to find your own ADHD solution, or even turn it into a surprising advantage. Now, if that interests you, then what I suggest you do is start the process of changing your own story of ADHD into something more positive. By clicking on any of the red buttons on the site to book yourself in for a free 30-minute hypnosis discovery session, where we can talk in more depth, one-to-one, about your goals moving forward. Anyway, you've been listening to me, Jamie Vasilian, the Hypnosis for ADHD specialist, helping you or your child with ADHD learn to manage and even master your uniquely wired brain so you can begin to live the life that I believe you are really meant to enjoy. Bye for now.